Rev up your engine! Okay, today we got an old school one. We got a 93 Jeep, and it's misfiring. It's a 93, it's not OBD2. We can't use our fancy scan tool. Well, that's the way it used to be. I grew up that way, so let's start out with looking at it. Now, there's a lot of things that make a car misfire, but in this case, it's going to be a little easier for me to diagnose, because he's already done a bunch of stuff that didn't fix it. So, new spark plugs, new spark plug wires, new distributor cap, new rotor, even new fuel injectors, new intake manifold gasket, new motor mounts, all kinds of new things. It's logical, spark plugs, things like that, you want to change them, and even when I changing the fuel injectors, but it's still acting up. We'll go inside. It's got a lot of miles. 248,000 miles. So we're going to start with the absolute basics. Realize all engines are air pumps, basically. They suck air in, then they blow the oxygen and fuel up. Our air is mainly nitrogen, about 80% nitrogen. And nitrogen is an inert gas. So basically it's sucking in 80% nitrogen and throwing out a bunch of nitrogen too. It's a giant air pump. And what goes wrong with air pumps? They lose compression. So the first thing we're going to check is the compression. Okay, before I do the spark plugs, he also told me he's replaced the ECU, the electronic control unit, the main computer brain. None of those fix it. We're going to start with the motor. We'll remove all the spark plugs, every single one of them. The first thing I notice is these plugs are pretty white, meaning it's running somewhat lean. I'm going to use this. You can get one that screws in, but it's a pain. You can push it in as long as somebody else cranks it. So we'll stick it in the hole. Okay, crank it over. Okay. And what they have there is 120 pounds pressure. So here's the next one. Okay, crank it over. Okay. Here we have again, 120 pounds pressure. We're going to do them all. Okay, crank it over. Okay, 120 pounds pressure. Well, if one thing, it's a consistent engine. The pressure's all the same. But check them all. Well, now they're all 120 pounds pressure. Now comes the trick. So here comes Dr. Scotty with this giant syringe. What we're gonna do, put a little motor oil in it. You don't need much. And stick it and turn it upside down so the air comes out. Whoop. And you'll squirt a little, about a teaspoonful, into one cylinder. And now we'll check that cylinder. We'll stick it in. Okay, crank it over. Okay, and voila, what do we have? Instead of 120, we got 150 PSI. And why did the pressure go up? Because that oil seals the worn piston rings better. The oil gets over, takes up the gap, the pressure goes up. Shows that the piston rings are worn. Now we're gonna check them all. Okay, crank it over. Okay. 190 PSI now. What that shows is some of the piston rings are worn more than the other. So on that one, it went up like 15, 20 pounds. But the other one, whew, it went up a whole bunch, 50-something pounds. He did change a lot of parts. And I'm sure a lot of them needed changing. Although he said the spark plugs weren't that worn. The engine is just flat wearing out. Now, no engine wears perfectly even, especially in a straight 6-cylinder engine. Different cylinders will wear slightly different because of the cooling jackets and the oil lubrication. Some cylinders are cooled better than others. Some get better oil than the other because it's a straight 6 design. There's different flow characteristics from where the oil pump pumps. That's really complex physics, but they don't wear evenly. In this case, the engine's just flat wearing out. Okay, now the owner told me an interesting fact. It doesn't have 256,000. He said it probably has 356,000 miles. He drove it for 2.5 years with the speedometer not working, so it's got a lot more than what it says. The worn out engine's got 350,000 miles probably, considering he drove for 2.5 years with no speedo, and it says around 260 now. But he said, but Scotty, it's not really burning any oil. Now, how can that be if the piston rings are worn? Well, here's how it can be. There's various piston rings on a piston. The top one's the compression one. That's the one that generally wears the most because that's where the compression of the engine, where the gasoline is exploding, that will wear the most heat, the most friction. Under it, oil control ring, keep the engine oil from getting burned by sealing it. That's down lower, and it's soaked in oil. So in his case, compression went up, especially in that one cylinder. Oil control rings are under the compression rings. And so they're still working pretty good because he says it really doesn't burn any oil. This is his knockaround car. It still doesn't run that bad once you're going down the road. It would make no sense to rebuild this engine that still works perfectly fine. It's still running, it's still going, and this is Tennessee. Notice there's no emission sticker like you would in Jersey or Texas or New York or Pennsylvania. You don't have to worry about it here. Now, you notice I did say it was running a little bit lean. The spark plugs are kind of white. He did put this cold air intake setup on it, so he's still got the old one. He's gonna put the old one on, see if it runs less lean, and then it might out a little bit better. But really, when you got an engine with 300-something thousand miles and it still runs decent, doesn't really burn any oil, there's no sense in putting a whole bunch of money in it. That's why, like I said earlier, engines are basically sucking air in and throwing air out. Nitrogen mainly, because it doesn't compress much. If you got one that you got problems with, you can see how easy it is to do a compression test wet and dry. Start there. Don't spend a bunch of money on parts. Didn't fix the problem. It's running about the same, he said, as it was before, so, you know, spark plugs and stuff are cheap enough anyways, but the fuel injectors weren't, and the computer wasn't. Start with a simple compression test. And when it comes to doing a compression test, I know some cars have spark plugs that are really hidden far away, but take the parts off to check it, because you can do a relative compression test with electronics where you crank the car and the waveform will show you how much power the starter's using and give you a relative idea of what kind of compression your car has. So it is relative. You don't know what the actual pressure is, one. Since it's relative, you don't know what the pressure is, and you can't really add oil and do it over because you'll probably get the same bumps. Even though the pressure is different, the bumps are going to look pretty much the same. Use a gauge. These kits, this is a $65 kit. They don't cost much money. And I got a good one. You can get $20 ones if you want. They're not that complex. But doing actual tests. You got a weird problem, so simple to do, especially when you got a high mileage car like this. That's the first thing you want to check. Let's take our spin. Now you'll notice it's smoky now, but that's the smoke from me pouring some in the cylinders. That'll burn off. He says it doesn't do that. It's only doing it now because we put some in the cylinder. Now yeah, the idle's a little bit rough, but I mean, hey. It's still got power. Let's floor and see what happens. And look, it's still got decent pickup, you know? 300-something thousand miles. These 6-cylinder engines are relatively indestructible. It's all Jeep, you know? You gotta kind of point like a boat and slide through the corners. You can feel, look, you can turn it back and forth and it's still going straight, so everything's worn. But the engine's still in really good shape. I mean, check it out. Look at that, it's amazing. So as you can see, it still runs like stink. He uses it as a hunting vehicle. An old truck like this, if you put less than 3,000 miles a year on it, there's no saying how long the thing's gonna last. Why throw an engine in it? It runs that good. It's a knock-around vehicle. Look, the paint's flaking off of it. Who cares? It still goes down the road. It has worn piston rings. Now, if you're a fanatic and you own one, you want to rebuild the engine, you could put rings in it. The rest of the engine seems in excellent shape. But still, it runs so good, who would even bother? Now, you know how to test out engines, see if they're worn inside, before you throw a bunch of money into things that doesn't really need, and don't fix anything at all. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Alex says, my car will only run at 5 miles an hour. I got a 2010 Honda Insight. A couple days ago, the engine light came on, and I was able to drive it. But today, it started decreasing speed, and I had to drive 5 miles an hour for 20 minutes. What could it be? Start with the basic things. A clogged fuel filter can do that. Easy. Just change the fuel filter. Now, if the fuel filter didn't fix it, then pressure test the fuel pump. A weak fuel pump will do that. But don't just test the fuel pump first, because the clogged filter will give you a false reading. A filter costs $25. The pump costs hundreds and hundreds. So if you pressure tested it without changing the filter, you could get a false reading and you think it needs a pump when all it needs is a filter. So change the filter first. Now, if it's not the pump or the filter, a lot of times a clogged catalytic converter will do that. Anybody can pressure test that too. For that, you take off an oxygen sensor by the catalytic converter and put a pressure gauge on it. And if it's got a bunch of pressure, it means the cat's clogged and you'll need a new catalytic converter. Those are the most common things. There are other things, of course, that can do it, but those are the most common ones, so check those out first. They're pretty easy to check, actually. If you don't have gauges, just pay a mechanic to check it. Take me 10 minutes to do those tests to tell you if it's one or the other. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.